Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something that in the beginning I said I wasn't gonna do, at least to myself, but we're doing it. So today we're gonna talk about bags of gear, bug out bags, fear bags, get home bags, whatever you want to call it. They're called a bunch of different stuff, but essentially it's a bag of gear. So stay tuned, let's find out what's inside. We're gonna do this. The comments are gonna light me up. You don't have this, you don't have that. All right, so anyway, all these bags, whether you call it a bug out bag, a fear bag, a survival bag, a get home bag, whatever you want to call it, they're called a million different things. At the end of the day, it's a bag of gear tailored to you that you need to either get from point A to point B, or you're doing something and you need this stuff to do a task or whatever it is. The big thing, kind of going around the internet is these bug out bags or survival bags, EDC bags, whatever, where it's meant to, if for some reason shit hits the fan and you're away from your home, this is a bag full of stuff that can get you home. The reason I don't like doing these is because depending on where you're at or what you're doing or what time of year it is, there's so many factors that go into play, that gear or that loadout in those bags has to change. It has to be different depending on the surroundings you're in. Or you just bring everything under the sun and then you're trying to blend in or get home with 50 pounds of gear on your back. And anybody that's backpacked knows that's not the easiest task, especially for somebody who doesn't do that. So I've never been a big fan of bug out bags. There's so many different factors, whether you're in an urban environment, a rural environment, but the ones that I watch online, on YouTube and stuff, I'll watch these videos. They all have, I need 7 different ways to create a fire, and I need, I need a shelter and a sleeping bag and 8 days worth of food and all this stuff and ways to filter water, and it doesn't make sense, and unless you are in like remote Canada or something in the woods and you're trying to get home and you have to, like, for some reason get through the woods, right? And shit happens. I understand that. But modern day, you have a phone, right? You have stuff, but regardless, I get this is like worst case emergency scenarios. So do I have bags? Yes, I do. Clearly, this is just a few of them. I have bags tailored for everything I do. For example, this small one here is always in my motorcycle. It has motorcycle stuff in it. So if I break down, I've got tools to do kind of emergency on the side of the road repair and stuff. I also have first aid stuff in there. So if I go down, get an accident or something, there's tourniquets in there. There's some medical stuff in there, to hopefully save my life or someone else's life. I also, I'm sure it's known or not, but I also carry a firearm. So I'm in the firm belief of, if I carry something that can put a hole in someone, I should also carry something that can stop blood from coming out of said hole, right? So I always carry tourniquets and things like that on me to hopefully save a life, or my own if something happens. Regardless, I've got bags for my bike. This bag you've seen in multiple videos. I always wear this when I'm out hiking. This has a bunch of hiking gear in it. The other day, I was watching another video and I came across this video called a fear bag, which is forget everything and run. And I didn't like everything that he had in there, but the bag that he had and everything, it made me feel like, okay, first of all, I like the anagram, fear. That's an anagram, right? I like that name. It's one I hadn't heard before. And it's mainly made for, you can have it for, you know, a rural environment or an urban environment. Myself, I work in an urban environment. If I, for some reason, need to get home, you know, it's going to be a long walk because I don't work close to my home. More than likely, I would try to get someone to come get me and stay in place until I can. But for some reason, if that just can't happen, you know, the Russians invade tomorrow or something, and we become Red Dawn, you know, and I can't get it home, and I got to walk it home and find my way and work through home. Cool scenario. What gear would I need, you know? So that brings us to today's video. I'm not going to go through everyone's bags. I'm going to go through this bag. And this bag here was in his video, so it looks brand new because it is. It was in his video and I liked it a lot because it's not a backpack. It's like a sling bag type thing. And I liked it. It's made by Maxpedition. I think it's called the Fat Boy. Fitting. But I got it and I started making a list of what I would do, what I would take, what gear I would need in an urban environment. You know, I'm not going to need, if I'm trying to get out of an urban environment, there's a lot of people there. I'm not going to need 8 different ways to create a fire. You know, for some reason I'm making it through in the middle of the night. I'm going to be traveling in the middle of the night instead of during the day so that I can use the cover of darkness to get home regardless. I'm not starting a campfire in the middle of the city. That's just going to do nothing but draw attention to you, and it's just going to bring people in. You know, they're gonna be looking. You know, if you have people looking for you, that's just sending up a big sign, come get me. So I have a lighter in there, but you know, my intention is not to go camping for 3 days with this bag. So anyway, that was a long drawn out process. Let's get into this bag today. Maybe I'll do some videos. If you guys like this type of stuff, I'll do some videos on what's in my other bags. But for today, let's get into this. I'll show you what I have in here. This is meant to get me home if I'm in the city and for some reason I gotta walk it out. Like I said, worst case scenario, I'm walking it out. You know, but also shit hits the fan, and you know, I'm going to you know, this may seem bad to a lot of you, but if something is really wrong and there's just a bunch of civil unrest and shit, I'm not going to be the nice guy that, you know, is just respectful. I'm going to steal my ass a car and I'm driving home. But regardless, if I have to walk, this is what I'm taking, or even if I'm stealing another car, this is what I'm taking to get home. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is the bag. It's made by Maxpedition. It's called the Fat Boy, I believe. They have a couple different versions of this. They have a smaller version. This is the larger version, I think. And they've also had different iterations of this bag over the years. So if you do have one, it might look a little bit different than this right now. Or if you buy one in the future, it might look different. Not sure. But this is the one that I got 2023, the time of filming. So depending on when you watch this, this is the one that I bought. I bought it on Amazon. I think it was under $100. And like I said, I saw it in someone else's video and was just kind of impressed by it. So I decided, you know, I want this bag. So this is what I loaded out for urban. I might change this up and do another one of how I would load it out if I was in a rural situation. If I'm in a rural situation, I'm probably going to have different bags that is able to hold more gear for me. But if I was to load this out, I'll load it out in a rural loadout and show you that as well. So let's get into the bag. So first thing on the side of the bag, it's got a pretty tall water bottle holder on the side. I don't think you're going to fit one of those big monster Nalgene's in there, but I've got a Stanley in here, kind of my hiking water bottle that I use. it would fit that. It fits that perfectly. A smart water bottle would fit pretty nice in here, or even just any type of skinnier, taller one. This is pretty generous. I think you may be able to get like a military style flask in here, but it might be pretty tight. This isn't very stretchy, but it does have the ability to kind of cinch it down as well with this kind of just cord system. It also has this Velcro on the side that allows you to like loop around kind of a taller bottle or something if you wanted a neck and kind of hold that a little more secure. And that gives you that ability. So if you are walking or something, or if you do take a fall, that water bottle is not going to come sliding out. So it's a little bit of retention for it. So that is the water bottle holder. Off to the other side, you've got some a smaller pocket and kind of a sleeve to kind of put stuff in. And in the top, there's a pocket. There's a zippered pocket on this front pouch. Inside, underneath, there's another pocket, another sleeve to put stuff, and then a main gear pouch. So we'll go through each one, and I'll kind of show you which one or what's inside. So starting off on the top, up here, there is a kind of a Velcro area to mount your patches or whatever you want to do patch-wise up in here. This top pocket I have reserved for medical, so I put, just the cross on there. And I also modified this bag a little bit, and I changed out the zipper pulls with red for first aid stuff. So any zipper pull that's going to have a red tab on it is going to have medical equipment in it. So if for some reason something happens to me and somebody needs to get at something that knows what they're doing, they'll know look in here first, so they're not digging through stuff. So like I said, very top, I put that pull. It's easy to get out quickly. Just in the top, the only thing I have in here is just a tourniquet. Like I said, carry a firearm, carrying a tourniquet, very important to me. So I always have one on me in some form or another. So this is what I carry in the top pocket. The other one up in the front here, red zipper pull it out, and this is medical as well. Inside I've got a emergency thermal blanket, just a cheap one. These are super helpful. If you do get cold, you still have to have some body warmth in you, but this will keep you, it'll help you at least survive if you're out in a cold night. So if I do have to walk home and something happens where I have to just hunker down for a while or something, or even if I'm walking and I'm just freezing, I didn't get a chance to grab a jacket or something, this might be able to keep me a little bit more warm. On top of that, or next to that, I just got like a little boo-boo kit. So it's got some Band-Aids in it, some aspirin, some ibuprofen. I think there's some anti-diarrheals in there, some anti-heartburn, and there's some hydration salts in there as well. So if it's just hot and I'm ripping home and I'm just sweating, I can throw that in some water and get hydrated again. And then just a tube of super glue. So take it from someone who has super glued themselves back together a lot. This stuff really does work. It burns like hell, but if you cut yourself open and you need to close it up quick, nothing works faster than a little bit of super glue. And that's it for what's in there. So, put this back. All right, off to the side now. I've got just a flashlight. This is an Ace Beam pokelet. I don't know. I got it on Amazon. The reason I got it is it comes with a rechargeable AA battery that you can recharge with a USB micro, and they give you the cord to recharge it as well. So the reason I have this is A, it's a cool flashlight. B, it does get super bright. It has several modes, so I can use it as a deterrent if for some reason it's in the dark. Flashes in someone's eyes, it might give you that half a second advantage. Another thing is, obviously, if it gets dark, you can use this to make your way through stuff. It has a really low setting as well, which just gives you enough light to see where you're going and not draw attention. And as well as it has this backwards clip that you can clip on the brim of a hat and turn it into kind of a headlamp. So that's pretty cool. It also uses standard AA batteries, so if this battery does die, I can swap it out for a AA battery. So flashlight. Next to that is just a first kind of self-defense tool, weapon, however you want to call it. I just keep a small pocket knife in here. Well, I guess it's not terribly small, but I do keep it very sharp. I don't know what brand this is. I'm not that guy that's like, oh, it's an Exotech Folder 674. Just get yourself a pocket knife. Something to cut with, a cutting tool. It is mainly a tool, but it can be used as a defense weapon if you need it. Over to the side here, I just keep some pepper spray. This will be super handy. It does have like the tearaway keychain kind of retention on here, so if I do need it, I can just yank it out and it's good to go. And this will be kind of a first line of defense. You don't want to immediately go to start stabbing somebody with a knife. You're going to just want to deter them and get away. So a little bit of pepper spray. Then next, in this top pouch here, it does have like double zippers. So pull that out. I just keep some protein bars in here, granola bars, just stuff to kind of munch on. There's another pocket back here, but I don't have anything in it. So this is just, I'm walking several miles home. If I need something to grab on, that's the only food I need. If I'm working in a city environment, I'm not going to need an MRE or a freeze-dried meal or something. A lot of the videos I watch have those in them, like, oh, you need food, and I'm not camping out. I'm just working my way home. I can go 3 days without food. This will be enough to get me energy to walk it home. And like I said, we're in an urban environment. There's food all around. I'll find something. I'll get to something if I need food, but this is enough to get me home to where I have more supplies. On the inside of the bag, around the front, there's this little pocket here. I just have a Write in the Rain kind of notebook with stuff, and where I've just built up notes for myself and stuff over the years. But I always just keep a Write in the Rain notebook in every one of the bags I have, just because the paper's waterproof. If you don't know, you can literally write in the rain on it, and it won't just dissolve the paper. Super handy just to grab if you need to leave a note or write something down or whatever. It's always just handy to have. Inside of there, I just got some stickers and business cards. So if I do, I'm always prepared with stickers. So if I do find a subscriber somewhere and you see me in public, I usually have stickers on me. Come up and say hi, and I'll be happy to give you one. And that's it for inside there. Now it has this zippered pouch in front. Inside of here, I do keep a compass. Even though I do have one on my phone, I get phone batteries die or whatever, or if I, for some reason, have to leave without my phone, I do have a compass so that I can find some type of general bearing on which way I'm going to get home. This one, I debated whether I should put this in the bag or not, but I figured it doesn't add much weight, and it does keep handy. So I keep about, I don't know, this is maybe 30 feet of paracord in here. It does help sometimes. I have had a lot of times where, I need just a little bit of something to lash something down or tie something together. Bootlace snaps, shoelace snaps, whatever. These do come in handy. I don't know why I would lose my belt, but if I did lose my belt on the way home, I could even makeshift a belt with this. So a little bit of paracord. All right, that's it for down in there. So a couple things on the front here. I do keep just a Sharpie to write stuff down if I need to or whatever. It's just a Sharpie. Next thing I do have, which I don't think I would use often, but I put in here because I have used these things more often than not. Like there's so many times where these pop up and I've got them on me and they just come in handy. Even to a couple of weeks ago when we went camping, you know, and we had like a little mini rave around the fire with the kids and stuff. Glow sticks always come in handy. So a couple glow sticks. This I just recently bought on Amazon because I thought it was really cool. This is made for glow sticks. So basically it comes apart and you can take a regular glow stick, put it inside, put this thing together, it just snaps in, and then this knob here allows you to let the amount of light out. So you can crack it and have just a little bit of light, or a little bit more light, or a full amount of directed light towards something, and you're not glowing to the rest of the, you know, the world where you're at, just notifying everyone. So this does give you the ability to use it kind of like a flashlight, get some light on something if you're trying to read a map or whatever, and then close it off so that you're not emitting a ton of light. And then if there is a little bit of residual light that comes out, you can tuck this back in your bag and you're never going to see it. It does have a cool little clip on it here. You can clip on your shirt if you need to, and direct that light outwards if you need to. And it has like a little clip here, I'm assuming to put on like maybe a hiking pole or something. I'm not sure what that would be for, but I thought this was pretty cool. I will put a link to some of the stuff that I bought on Amazon down in the description. If you are interested in this, you can buy it. Next I have just another redundant cheapo flashlight. So if something does happen, I need an extra light, I've got one on me. So I just, you know, I had a bunch of these, so I threw one in there. In conjunction, yes, it's pink. That's the only one I had available, but I do have a Sawyer water filter. You know, I'm in an urban environment, water should be safe, but if for some reason I have to get it from a not very trustworthy source, and I do have a smart water bottle in here, or I could always just find a bottle. There's garbage all over the place, right? Find a pop bottle or something, fill it up with water, and I can at least have a way to filter it so that I'm not, you know, getting sick later. This isn't much weight, doesn't take up much room, so it's a safety feature. Throw it in, put it on a bottle, you got some clean water. In addition to that, I'm in an urban environment. If you need water, there's not a lot of lakes and streams and rivers in urban environments usually. So what you do have access to is public buildings. And in public buildings, on the side of them, they do have water spigots. Most of them don't have the traditional handle that you turn on. They have little keys. This is called a Silcock key. This has 4 different ways to find those different types of fittings on the top of those spigots to be able to turn on water on a public building on the outside. So if you're not trying to get in, you're trying to be a little more discreet, you find a building, most of them usually have water running to them still. You can go out, turn that on, let that run for maybe a minute or two if you have the ability to, in order to kind of cycle that stale water that's been sitting there for a while out, if it's an older building, and get to that water, and there you go. Now you've got water. In worst case, if you got to go quick, fill up a bottle, in conjunction with this, you're good to go. And then down here, I just have some cords for cell phone charging and charging that flashlight. All right, so in the top of the bag, it does have this huge dump pouch where this kind of extends out. So if you did have to kind of fold that over and just put a ton of gear in here, you could totally load this thing down. My neighbor's dog is just barking at squirrels. So they all have these really high quality, strong, like retention clips on all the strings, so you can cinch it down pretty tight. So inside, I don't have this fully loaded down. I always leave room for if you got to grab more stuff. So inside I keep just a pair of just some gloves. They've got some leather palms on them, so if I do need to touch something hot, I'm not going to burn my hands. They'll keep my hands warm. And if for some reason, you know, things are Red Dawn style, they're going to protect my knuckles if I need to get dirty. Let's see. Next up, I have another little Maxpedition pouch in here. This thing travels around with me usually, so it's either in my backpack if I'm going, or it's in my truck or whatever. It's just something I grab. In the front, I know I said I didn't have a ton of ways to start fire, but I guess I kind of do. I've got just a cheap little survival whistle with a ferro rod on them with a striker, so I can make sparks if I need to. And then in here, I'm not going to dig it out, but there's just a plastic bag wrapped in some gaffer tape that has just some like Tylenol and Motrin and stuff in there, and a couple Band-Aids, need be. And then just a little clip, because these things come in handy, man. Inside this, I keep just a little tiny multi-tool. This one has scissors on it, which come in way more handy than pliers for some reason that I found. So I keep this little multi-tool. This is by SOS. SOS. This one's made by B.A.G. It is pretty cool. I'll show it off. So it's just a pair of scissors, but then they give you, you know, your file, your screwdriver, your little knife blade and stuff like that inside there as well. So I'm not using this for a knife mainly. This is just a cool little pair of scissors if I need it. Third redundancy for a light. So I do have another flashlight in here. This one's always kind of with me, so if I don't have this bag, I do have a backup flashlight. I keep a couple just straight pins if I need a pin. And there's a little bit of, this is like a waxed leather, really strong kind of string if I need to lash something together or tie something or even sew something up. You know, it's not going to be pleasant, but it will come in handy. A little bit of chapstick because, you know, protect your lips and stuff. Could also be used as a fire starter. I keep just a pen to write with that notebook, a pair of tweezers because winners suck. Another little pair of scissors and, you know, nail clippers so that I can look pretty while I'm trying to get home. And then just a lighter. Back here, I do have, this is an incognito lockpick set. I do have a set of regular lockpicks in my truck that, depending on where I'm at, like I said, I'll swap gear out. If I know I'm going to need that for some reason, I can do that. But this is mainly some light picks if I do need to get into a fenced off area and they've got like a, you know, a cheapo master lock on the outside. I can pick a master lock with my eyes closed pretty much, so can everyone else. So I can get in that area if I need to. And then I've got just a little bit of duct tape kind of spun around itself down here. This is probably 20 feet of it, and it's super small, so it's better than carrying that big roll. Duct tape comes in handy all the time. So. And then this is cool. I don't remember where I got this. I think Amazon, but this is like the smallest little bit driver I've ever seen. So I got it. It's got the ability to have, like, you know, really get torque on it if you need to. So it's got this little L side and then like a straight side, so you can use it as a regular screwdriver. So I've got that with a corresponding couple bits, you know. So if I do need to fix something or whatever, tear something apart. Then I've got a USB-C to USB-C cord in here for charging off my laptop if I need to. And then this is just a USB to a terrible phone charging. If for some reason somebody comes along with a terrible phone and I can help them charge it. So that's what's inside that pouch. This thing always comes in handy. Next up, I've got just a regular cotton bandana. There's a million uses for this, but you know, cotton bandana is awesome. Always have one. Everybody should wear one, or should have one. I don't know why we got away from it. There used to be a day where everybody carried one in their back pocket. It's a handkerchief. It's a filter. It's something to lay out on the ground if you don't want your stuff on the dirty ground. It can filter water. It can, you know, it can wipe the sweat from your face. It can protect your head if if you lose your hat or something and you're follically challenged like me. It just has a million uses. Carry a bandana, man. It's just do it. You wipe something down, clean something. Why not? Why did we get away from that? Another thing for hygiene, just some, when duty calls, take care of yourself. Next up, I've got an Anchor power cell, or power bank, whatever you want to call it. This is to use with those cords. I could charge my phone with it. I can charge my flashlight with it. I could charge my laptop with this thing. This is, I think it's 20,000 milliamp hours. I could be wrong. But I picked this up when I was up for a camp trip and I had forgotten my power bank. I picked this up at like a Best Buy or something, and I love it. It's a little heavy. It's kind of a brick. This thing's gotten through a lot where I need to charge a phone or something, and I don't have power nearby. Even camping when we're backpacking, this thing is awesome. Get yourself one. They have a million different kinds. They even have them smaller. If you don't have one, get one. That's it for that. Next up, inside I've got like a Ziploc bag. Protect your feet, man. I don't see this in anybody's bags, which really blows me away. But have a pair of good wool socks. Okay, so good pair of merino wool socks. These things are great. The design is probably not the best, but that's why I have them in this bag. Your feet are super important. You don't want to be having like wet feet and then trying to hike home in them. And worst case scenario, if it gets cold and you don't have a pair of gloves, which I do, mittens, or throw these over top your gloves to keep you warm. Always have a pair of socks, good dry socks. And then finally in this bag, I just have like a little buff hat. This one's Itchy Boots one, but I keep a little buff hat in here. These things also have a million uses. Get one. All right, struggling with the camera that's getting too hot because I'm talking too long. Finally, I've got like a big can liner in here. So garbage bags are always helpful. Throw it on as a poncho if it starts raining, whatever. But if we're talking weird end of the world survival stuff, where Red Dawn, if I'm in an urban environment, nobody looks at a trash bag in the corner of a building twice. If I need to blend in, urban camouflage, throw this thing on, hunker down in the corner next to a bunch of other garbage bags that are piled up, or even next to a dumpster. No one's going to look at you. You're going to blend into your surroundings. So if I do have to hunker down for the night, sleep somewhere, I don't want to be found, I'm going to go to the dirty, nasty dumpster that no one wants to be around, throw this on, hunker down, and blend in. So there's a million uses for a big garbage bag, but that would be how I would use it if I need to. And that is it for the inside of the bag. So one last thing that I keep in this bag that has been here the whole time is in the back here. They have it's a couple things. They have a back pouch. I keep a airsoft gun, we'll say, in there because it's YouTube. So they do have this one. I'm not, it's just a dummy one, but I'm putting it in there so that I don't get demonetized when I get monetized. But inside, there's really cool Velcro back, so you can have a Velcro. It's a very strong Velcro. You can have a Velcro holster. This one's made by B.A.G, but basically will hold any type of airsoft pistol that you may have that you want to have in there in place. And then they do have another retention piece of elastic, but B.A.G is no longer in business. There's a bunch of people out there that sell these type of kind of holsters to put inside of bags like that so that they're not flopping around. And then finally, last thing, I do have a map of Michigan because that's where I'm at. So if you need to get to the streets and you're trying to make your way home and your cell phone dies or whatever, get a map, a paper map, learn how to read it, learn how to use it. So this thing's super helpful if you're trying to find a way to, divert around something. That's it for what I keep in here. The outside of the bag, it does have a shoulder strap, like I said. I've just got it kind of strapped up in the back. It's got another little C-clip type thing in the back here to tuck your keys to or whatever you want. So that's pretty much it. It does have some really nice padding for like your hip on it. And it does have a bunch of molly webbing or mole webbing, however you want to say it, on the side. So if you did want to mount extra pouches or bags or whatever to it, it gives you those options to do so. So that's it. And then that shoulder strap just kind of hooks to this buckle and turns it into that. But it also has this little hand pouch, so that's what I've been using mainly, is just use that. So that is the bag. That's the contents. All right, so that's it. That is the Super Extreme Mateo Outdoors Urban Survival Kit Home Bug Out Death Fear Bag, because things have to have titles. It's a bag of gear. Did I think this through? Did I cover every scenario? No, you're never going to cover every scenario. And if you try to, you're going to find that you don't need 90% of the gear, and you're carrying all that stuff with you. That's weight. It's more and more weight, and 5 pounds doesn't seem like much, but when you're hiking at 10 miles, 5 pounds is a lot. I tried to think this through of what am I going to need? What am I going to need the most of? The thing that honestly that I'm going to need the most if I'm trying to just get from work to home is honestly going to be some water, because I'm going to get thirsty. It's going to be some of those power bars or something just to give me enough energy to get home, where I can get food. It's going to be a couple ways of having some self-defense. If you get across, some bad guys on the way home, you got your way to protect yourself. Other than that, there's not a whole lot I'm going to need. A lot of the other stuff is just convenient stuff. Some first aid if I need it, right? Hopefully I don't. So those are things like I didn't pack a full surgical kit because you shouldn't need that, hopefully, and if you do, I've got enough to stop some bleeding and hopefully, work myself to get back home. I don't need a chest seal. If I do, I'm in a bad spot, and I don't think I could put it on myself anyway. And more likely, I'm not traveling with anyone. If I'm doing this, I'm going alone. So, I don't know. I'm critical of people that do these types of videos, which is why I debated on doing one in the first place, because I see a lot of them do it, and I get they do it for the views and stuff right now because everybody wants to know, what do you carry in your bag, So I don't know. It's this is, like I said, the bags you have are for you, especially when it comes to first aid. Everybody loves to pile on first aid stuff, but they're IFAKs, they're individual first aid kits. They're made for you. You pack them out. If I'm, for example, traveling with my daughter who has asthma, my first aid that I grab to go out on the door is going to be different from what I take for my son who gets migraines, So there's going to be different things depending on what I'm going with. And, there's no sense in carrying extra weight to me for stuff that's not going to happen if you're not going to need it. I can deal with a bit of discomfort. I can deal with a lot of pain because I'm in it a lot. So I don't need just tons and tons and tons of stuff. I don't need a bivy tent and sleeping bags and stuff to get home. I'm not, like I said, in the first place, if I'm going from an urban environment and I'm trying to get home, I'm moving in the dark. I'm not going to stop in the middle of the night and say, well, this is camp, and if I do, I'll throw that garbage bag over me, stuff it full of a bunch of garbage and debris, homeless man style, throw some newspaper and stuff in there, keep you warm, hunker inside of a building outside of the thing. There's tons of abandoned buildings, where I work. I'll hunker down. I'll find a way to get shelter. There's shelter all around you in an urban environment. So it just never made sense to me. All these guys are like, shit hits the fan, I'm grabbing this 50 pounds, the 60-liter bag full of gear, and I've got, saws to process firewood and an axe and knives and pry bars and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, all you're doing is just adding this tons of weight to haul home. Like, you should be able to move light and fast. If you need to evade or get an escape for something, you should be able to move fast, move quick, and not have a bunch of stuff jingling off of you as you're walking, drawing attention to yourself. All right, so that's it for today. If you like this type of content, subscribe down below so you don't miss more. Depending on the likes or the comments on this video, I might make more other videos if you guys are interested in this type of stuff. But I do want to hear, fire up the comments now. What would you put in your bag? What did I miss? What did I forget? What did I add that wasn't needed? I tried to keep this thing light so I can move if need be. Or it's just something to grab in the back of the truck if I need, a Band-Aid for one of the kids, or I need, somebody's hungry and we're not near food right now. Give them a power bar, give something to drink. It's got daily stuff in it. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe down below. I'll see you on the next one.